One of these days, I'll figure out how to be a broadcaster.
You're big time, dude.
It's going to happen.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. It's without Brad Nolan today.
Seriously, man.
We've got Shereen Thor, fresh off her trip to Paris with all her children, with the herd of kids she's got.
It's terrible.
We're going to talk about that today in the show, traveling to Paris, Paris in general. I went to Paris during Christmas. We will also talk about the difference between traveling with kids, because Shereen's got a baby and a 3-year-old, which sounds like an absolute disaster.
Pretty much.
What else we got today on the show? I want to talk about, oh my gosh, yeah, we got some stuff, some interesting things in politics. I feel like everyone in the Trump administration is turning into roles in The Office. Maybe we'll talk about that. I'm not 100% sure.
I can't wait. I
don't know. Well, I don't know. Let's just get into it. So Shereen's back from Paris. We're gonna jump into that in a second. I gotta admit this. I was in Atlanta last weekend, and I made a little kid cry during laser tag.
Wow, Brian, what is really happening with your life?
Do you ever? Is your husband Kenny a competitive guy or no?
Oh my God, yes.
Is he cool with your kids though? Is he that dad who's gonna throw games, or is he gonna stick it to Maya and Luke?
Both. Like, he wants to let them win so that it's fun, but then he wants them to lose so that he teaches them sportsmanship.
Oh boy.
Oh, annoying.
You'd be a good loser. So I was in Atlanta last weekend, and it was my girlfriend Jessica and I we fully planned on like an outdoor day. We were gonna go out to Pont City Market in downtown Atlanta, take the dogs, and have like an annoying relationship day.
Totally.
Mainly for Instagram.
Gross.
Yeah, we had an even more annoying day though on Instagram, because we walked out of the house and it was 91 degrees with 97% humidity, which means that's the end of that.
Yeah, totally.
We're not doing that. Like, I'm not going to go. I don't like sweating when I'm not working out.
Understandable.
You know?
It's gross.
It makes me feel out of shape.
It just makes me feel fat.
It does, right? There's no way in hell to walk out of your house, not do anything athletic, make it 30 feet to the car, and just start sweating profusely. Like, that's never going to happen. Like, I'm never going to feel okay with that.
No.
So I took the dogs out to go to the bathroom before we were going to go down and have our little picnic and stuff. And just watching the dogs run around, I started sweating, and I was like, I'm going to have to break this news to her. And she came down with, running shoes on and stuff, and she's like, we're going to Pont City Market. And I was like, probably going to bail on that plan. And she goes, why? I was like, just walk outside and check. She opened we have a French door that opens onto the street in our townhouse neighborhood, and the air just kind of hits you in the face. It's like, oh God! It's disgusting wave of just swamp air. And so we decided to go to an indoor activity.
Very nice.
We went to a place called Main Event, which is like Dave & Buster's, basically.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and she's an arcade person, strangely.
So she's like a cute, nerdy girl.
No, she's not nerdy at all. She's like
she looks hot, but she's got some nerd in her.
I mean, maybe. You know what? I never thought about that.
Don't reject the nerd, Brian.
No, it's not that I'm rejecting the nerd. I've never thought about her being a gamer.
Yeah, she's like a cute little nerd.
She's not good at video games, though.
Okay, maybe she's not then. But she likes them. Then that's all that matters.
She likes carnival type games. She loves Hoop Shoot.
Okay.
She likes skee ball.
She's just becoming more and more adorable as you talk.
Well, one, she likes trying to find ways to rig it so she wins tickets.
Nice.
So we'll do this one. It's so stupid, but it's how we bond. Over every trip we've ever gone on, we find an arcade and just try to run it.
You guys are hilarious.
We try to scam it for tickets, and it's cool because my godson Rayler was in town during Thanksgiving. We took him to Main Event, and he was like, man, you guys are so good. And we just kept winning tickets, and he was getting prizes and stuff.
That's awesome.
And he's awful at them. I was like, move, buddy. I can't. I'm too competitive.
You're a huge loser. Let me do this.
Let me teach you sportsmanship. So,
as you're pushing him onto the floor.
I mean, there's this one game where you're just throwing rubber balls at these clowns, these furry clowns that'll come back up and stuff. And there's no way. We set the high score 16 times at this arcade, and you get a bonus for setting the high score. But that's because it's a one-person game, and we're both sitting there throwing.
Oh, cheaters!
And we can both I'm a little bit better than her, but I can throw with both hands, like decently from just playing basketball and stuff. So I'm there. So basically, we have 4 people, but 4 arms throwing balls. So like the high score is like 300. We had like 600 in the first one, and you just get all these bonus points. So we're doing that, and then I signed us up for laser tag because laser tag is stupid fun.
I've never played it.
Shut up.
I'm not cool like you.
It's just so silly.
Yeah.
You put all these laser vests on, and it just ended up being a situation where we ended up being on different teams.
Uh-oh.
And that's fine. That's happened before. And the first time we ever played laser tag, I shot her like 1,000 times, and she got pissed at me.
She's like, I hate you.
Yeah, when it shows everyone's high score, and she had 14 points, and I had like 17,000 because you lose points. And she's like, you kept shooting me. I'm like, hey, you're a 5'10" blonde, and we're in a room full of black lights. That glows. It's a really glowy situation. So this time, instead of shooting her the whole time, I was up high. You got to get a high elevation point, right?
Got to do it.
So I'm up high in the corner with my back to the wall. So you can only hit me in the front, first of all. So I'm not getting killed very much. And there's this little kid down below, and he's hiding. And this kid is stupid. Like, he just won't move. He knows I'm up here. I've got a vantage point on him. He's down below, and he's trying to shoot through a hole, like a little circle. He's trying to shoot through that at people, and I just keep picking him off. And he keeps looking up at me, and I'm like, yo, dude, ping. As soon as this thing turns back on again, I shoot him again, right?
He just stayed there.
Because he wouldn't leave.
Because he's stupid. As you've so perfectly
I mean, once your defense has been exposed, buddy, you got to move.
This is one of my favorite qualities of the Brian Moote, is that he is willing to insult children.
If they have it coming, I mean, listen, this kid, I probably improved his life. If I think about it.
I'm certain you did.
You know what? I showed him what America's like.
You're welcome.
You can't just post up in a place where your defense is vulnerable.
So true.
And this kid was probably, I thought he was a bit older than he was.
Yeah.
So I kept.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Because it was dark. You know?
He's like this young, like 8-year-old.
No, he wasn't. I think he's probably more like 6 or 7.
Brian.
But he looked old. He was tall, so he looked old. I did the thing I hated when I was a kid, where people would say, "Oh, how old is your son?" 11. My mom would go like, "He's 8." Oversized monster of a child. So
really, you were shooting the younger version of yourself.
I was shooting out my inner anger for being called older than I was when I was growing up. So I just kept shooting this kid, and he kept looking up at me, and I kept just like going, I don't know.
Sorry, Dad.
And okay, let me back it up. I was about 3 shots of whiskey deep and a couple beers. So
this makes perfect sense.
So at this point, I'm also like, whatever, bro.
Whatever, Dick.
Hey, man, if you're going to sit there, I'm going to shoot you. So I just kept picking this kid off, and he's getting so frustrated because when you shoot, when you get hit, it has like a 30-second wait time, and things like, and it's like, so this kid's sitting there, and he can't keep shooting. So every time it turned back on, and mind you, I'm shooting other people too. And then I'm like, oh, this kid's ping, and I just pick him off again. He ends up bursting into tears.
Oh my God, Brian.
Yeah, he starts crying, and he tries to slam his gun on the ground, but it's attached to a hose that keeps it attached to his vest. So he tries to slam it and it won't hit the ground, and he starts crying. And then I see his mom start coming over. And then that is when I bravely vacated my position.
It's a good time to retreat.
Yeah, I saw Mom doesn't mess around. Mom throws hands, not laser beams.
She's like, I will slap you.
She looked up at me, and I was like, gotta go. And I just snuck off and commenced to shooting my girlfriend again. Because I'm a good person. I'm a competitor, Shereen. Does that ever go away?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to be that guy forever.
Oh, my God. He's so crazy. It's
what,
amazing.
Kenny is?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I didn't know you were like that. Good to know, asshole.
No, I really I didn't mean to be. All right. You know what? Oh, I'm going to read you a fun text that I got from Pat this morning.
Oh, I can't wait.
And no, let's talk about travel first.
Okay.
We'll talk about your travel.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Here we have Brian Moote
This better not get me in trouble with my girlfriend.
and Brad Nolan.
No, my wife wants to flip the swinger switch.
Just 2 boys without man buns.
It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Why are you laughing at man buns?
I've never heard the man buns before.
It's funny because we always talk about it in the fact that if I could grow a man bun, I would.
But you can't.
I just feel like you look at old white guy trying too hard, right?
Yeah.
Like you never want to see the guy with the man bun where you look at him and you go, he's got a bald spot, right? Like he's trying to cover that
really
bald
just
spot.
trying to-
Right, like he's taking all the hair. He's got a big bald spot in the back,
Yeah.
like the top
just
crown
covers.
balding, and just pulling all the hair up. You know,
And he looks artsy, but really he's just bald.
right? Or you know what? I feel the same way. By the way, this is Shereen Thor in the show today.
hi.
Brad Nolan is out, busy. Brad's too busy for
Brad's
us.
too cool. He's like trying to avoid me, man. He doesn't want to co-host with me, that jerk.
I mean, he's missing a hot show. This has already been
It's
fun.
so hot.
I always feel bad when guys start losing their hair to a point where whatever hairstyle they have is being completely just ransacked by the baldness. Like for black dudes, it's the guy who needs to give up on braids,
Yeah.
like the cornrow braids, where it's all heavy in the front, and then you know what I'm talking about. In the back, the braids get really
All of
small.
a sudden they're thinner.
Right, and you can kind of, and the lines between the braids are wider.
Too spacious.
And I feel like he doesn't know that's happening, that the rows are getting bigger and that the braid is getting thinner.
Yeah.
And then whoever's braiding his hair is just like, don't say anything.
Just keep going.
Just keep doing it. I feel like that would be me, so I don't do it.
So you don't do it. I don't think you could pull off a man bun. Sorry. No, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a Brian Moote look, man.
I did the man bun when I was in
You did the man bun?
like 6th grade.
Okay.
But then that was when we had the it was like in the Pacific Northwest, it was the grunge days.
Yeah, like Nirvana.
Yeah, so I grew my hair out
Kurt
so I could hook it
Cobain.
around my ears, and I used sun in, so it was all blonde.
You're such a nerd.
Parted it down the middle, and then we shaved up underneath. Right, that
Right,
was the
right.
big style back then. So you'd shave up underneath, and then every once in a while, you know, like just to throw a monkey wrench into my
Dude.
day. Like I'd borrow a girl's scrunchie and throw it up in a man bun and just
bun.
watch their hearts melt.
Do you have any pictures of this? Because I kind of
Somewhere.
need to see that.
I do have. You know what? I've been telling my mom that I need her to find all my old photos
yes.
from when I was in middle school, when I was like in my Jenko jeans. You remember those things?
Yes.
Where the jeans where the legs were so big you couldn't even see your feet.
Yeah.
I need her to find those and my long hair hooked behind the ears, Kurt
Perfect.
Cobain days,
I need that.
where I was all emo.
Because I don't believe it, man. Yeah, I just see you as like the short-haired, kind of like frat boy, cool guy.
Is that what I put off?
I don't really see you as a man bun is like holy granola, artsy fartsy. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was I don't know how you were in high school. I think I was a little bit transcendent. In terms
is
of
that what you were?
Well, I don't know. Because I started off.
Okay, first of all, what in the flying F-bomb does that mean?
I don't know. You know what? We're going to explore that right now. we were going to talk about your travels to Paris. We're going to get to that. I'm going to keep bumping. That's the most interesting thing about the show today is you going to Paris with a like an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old.
But I'd rather talk about your man bun.
Okay, we're going to get into that right now. So in 6th grade, I've always been somebody, I just don't like, it's probably because I'm stubborn. I just don't like being part of groups.
Oh
I'm not
my
a big
God.
fan.
Yes, I get
I'm not
that.
a group guy. And if I join something, I don't like being told there's rules and regulations.
Dude, you're like a total rebel. That's hilarious. I've never really figured that out about you before.
I don't mind having rules and regulations, but I need you to trick me into thinking I chose them and you're not forcing them upon me. It's a very precarious
I
situation.
get it. No,
I tell
100%.
Brad that all the time. So Brad is always
Tricking you?
Well, yes, I'm totally okay with that. He's the executive producer of the Amp Radio Morning Show, and he'll be workshopping an entire segment with people, and like some people on the show need more guidance in their point of view than others. I do not. And I feel like if you're trying to corral me into one or the other, I will take the opposite just to show you that you can't corral me.
Hey.
So he'll be sitting in the room and he'll say, all right, so I think you should, be on the side of this. And then Brian, of course, is probably going to say something like this. And I'm like, oh, you think so? All right, well, guess what I'm not going to say? Whatever that was right there. So now I think he tries to outsmart me by, if he does do that, he'll say, oh, Brian will probably be super, pro-Trump policy.
And then
And I'm like, I know what you're doing right now.
Dun.
And because I think I know what you're doing, I might be pro-Trump policy. Because
You can't reverse psychology me.
No!
You can't anything me.
If there's one thing I learned in psychology is that you can't reverse psychology someone who knows it's reverse psychology and double reverses.
Dude.
So I feel like when I was growing up, I started off in 6th grade as I started playing guitar, and I loved sports, but I was skating, and I was kind of in that crowd of kids who had awful grades. I had awful grades. Like, I remember a couple times we snuck out and got drunk during school on one travel bottle of vodka. We passed it around, and
drunk sixth
we're all
grader.
buzzed. Yeah, and then in high school, I kind of started taking it more serious, and I started shaving my head because I was playing basketball, and I started snowboarding less. But I never lost my foothold in the alternative kind of skater community. I was still that guy. I felt like in the world of skaters versus jocks, I was the one who could broker peace treaties.
I so get that.
Like in Dances with Wolves, I was Kevin Costner.
You are a huge nerd right now.
That's such a dumb reference. Like, the only reference I can come up with right now of a guy, or you know what? Even a newer one. I just watched this movie on an airplane, The Revenant.
Okay.
With DiCaprio and Tom Hardy, and basically it's a movie where they just try to kill DiCaprio 1,000 times. But he speaks the native language. He also speaks French and English, and he's kind of like the trapper who's like, he's got a native son, and he can go back and forth between and he can kind of broker. That's what I was.
That's what you were.
How do we get into this? Oh yeah, my man bun days. So you should just throw in a man.
Yeah, I was just saying I don't see you as a man bun guy, but apparently you are clearly a man bun guy.
Well, here's the thing. I would grow a man bun. This whole segment's about man buns just because of the imaging. That's amazing.
I love that.
It's an amazing radio segment.
It shocked me. Like slapped me in the face talking about man buns.
So, but here's what's funny. My hair has been thinning since I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
Now, it's not a lot. It's a little here and there.
Just enough to piss you off.
Enough to annoy me. Enough so that I got to make sure that whoever's cutting my hair is aware of like the receding hairline and knows how to compensate by.
Yeah.
But then I feel like they're trying to like set me up for the comb over starter kit.
And you're like, we're not doing that.
Right. So she's like, this one lady was cutting my hair, and she's like, "Oh, you got a lot of you're kind of receding right here. But if I leave this part longer, you can comb it, in that direction." I'm like, "You mean over?" You were about to say you can comb it over, and I'm not comb over status yet.
That will never happen, bitch.
So, it might. Well, I may have gotten suckered, but I think that I didn't. I bought this infrared laser hair restoring helmet.
Nice.
That I have to wear 3 days a week, and it just for 25 minutes, and it zaps my head with infrared laser beams.
So that it'll grow?
I guess it's supposed to stimulate blood flow.
Look at you. I like it.
And start to regrow your hair. They said that on the Amazon review,
I'm so amused right now, Brian. This is so good.
I'm being way too honest.
Way better than Paris.
They said, no way. They said that it's better to start while you notice your hair thinning than when you're bald. Because when you're bald, it's just
too late.
It's kind of over.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was within the area.
Still going.
But I look. It's embarrassing, though, and I have this stupid laser helmet on, and it's this big white laser helmet that plugs in, and I still haven't gotten the courage yet to do it in the living room of the apartment, just in case my roommate walks out. It's like, what the hell are you doing? So I have to do it. I have to laser my scalp in the privacy of my own bedroom, like I've been banished from the castle for being disgusting.
But you can talk about it.
Like I'm balding Quasimodo. All right, now we're talking about travel.
I'm down.
All right, you better be down.
Brian Moote is a stand-up comedian. Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
I feel like we're running out of those rejoins. I got one right here. Let's see what this one says.
Here we have Brian Moote.
Nothing screams athletic midlife crisis like becoming a shoe collector. Agreed. All of a sudden.
And Brad Nolan.
I have a ton of shoes. I just keep acquiring them. They're very pretty.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
It's not even true. Brad's got
pretty.
like 3 pairs of Vans. He wears one every day. Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. If you want to get my app, I think we plug it too much when Brad's on the show, so I'm only going to do it once today.
Okay.
I have a free app. You can text Moote, MOOTE, to 36260. You can get the links to the podcast, to my morning radio show. You can also get links to stuff we talk about on the show, like the worst acting video in history that I've got Pat in called McBuds.
Nice.
It's really awful. We have Shereen Thor in today, and you might be the bravest woman on the planet. You just went to Paris with your family.
Oh, my God. Seriously.
I mean, that's got to be awful. Was it a direct flight, or did you have a connection?
Okay, so on the way there, we were like solid. We were hooked up.
And you have how old are your kids?
So Maya is like 3.5. And Luke is like 1 year, but like 1 year and 3 months. Like, most moms would be like, he's 15 months.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. I don't have to do long division.
I don't do that. Yeah, I just 1 year and 3 months.
Once you hit a year, I feel like we should just say.
You're like, that's enough, dude.
You're like, but I shop for him in the 23-month and under section. That's a you thing, not an us thing.
Exactly.
I don't care.
I hate when
what
people.
section at Gap Kids you go to?
Exactly. I hate when people become super unrelatable. Like when I was in the personal development world, this is a tangent, but we're doing it. I'm committed.
This is a full tangent show.
People get all weird with their lingo and they start talking in weird ways that are unrelatable. And I hated it then. I was like, okay, bro, stop drinking your freaking Kool-Aid. It's weird. And like, even as a mother, I'm like, okay, nobody knows what the heck 22 months is. Like, just say almost 2 years. Be normal. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
I mean, we all know it's weird. It's like we all know what almost 2 years means.
Right.
It means you're just either north or south.
Yeah, it's right
of
there.
2 years, but you're close enough. It's almost like as if when you become a mom, you switch from
normal,
like miles per hour to kilometers.
Yes, exactly.
The metric system, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, how tall is he? He is 2.1 meters.
Yeah.
Which would be way too tall for a baby because it's like 6.5.
That's a huge baby.
It's a big-ass baby, man. It's 6.5 feet.
Or like when they're pregnant and they're like, I'm 26 weeks. I'm like, okay, so divided by 4 weeks in a month. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, just don't make me do that. I don't like it.
I legitimately can't stand that.
And
also, I'm not
that.
even asking because I really care. I'm asking because that's the question you're supposed to ask.
Right.
Oh, how far along? 32 weeks. Is that
what
like,
the F does that mean?
Are you almost done?
Is it coming out though? It's really
you
all I
look
want
big.
to know.
You look. Is that appropriate? Gauging by how big. Hey, turn sideways. Oh, damn. Like, you got to be almost done, right? Like, oh, shoot, you still got like 2 months left? Good luck with that.
Just kidding.
Good luck with that bed rest.
Yeah.
Oh, you were on that. I'm sorry.
I was on that, and I
too soon.
hate you
Both
right now.
times,
No,
too
just kidding. All right, so we went to Paris with our 3.5-year-old and our 1-year-old, and it was so much work. It did not feel like a vacation. Except for, so hold on, let me be positive, because I feel like it's like you guys,
Well, okay, what was the reason to go to Paris?
Okay, we went to Paris for my sister-in-law's wedding. So there was no choice to not go. Like, it's a wedding
it's Kenny's
for Kenny's
sister's
sister.
wedding.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was like,
so
we're going.
Is she marrying a French dude?
Marrying a French dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, a little bit you was like, I mean, you probably don't want to say it. I'll say it for you. Eye roll, right? Like, I gotta go to Paris. I mean, come on. Are they going to live in France forever?
Okay, so she lived with him in Paris for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Now they currently live up north in California.
Oh, that sounds like a way better place to have the
Way
wedding.
better. And they both got cool jobs and they're good. But they'll probably move back the long term eventually. But they're cool in San Fran for now.
I mean, did any part of you think about leaving the kids with your mom?
100%. Like, I was like,
why?
Like, I just knew it was going to be such a bear.
Well,
to take
Luke's
them.
not going to remember any of that
At
shit.
all.
And also, you're doing him a disservice because someday you're going to say, oh, no, you went to Paris when you were a baby.
I don't remember that.
I can go to Paris. I mean, yeah, you dragged me around from place to place and you put me in a stroller.
Dude, it was maniacal. Like, nothing is as fun with children as it is without children. I've been to Paris twice before.
I can honestly agree with you there. I don't have children, but I can promise you that when I was in Amsterdam, they probably would have frowned on me going into the weed cyber cafe with
your you're
someone in a baby jumper, Bjorn or whatever that thing is, strapped to my chest. I was like, what is that, Gorilla Glue?
Sweet. Give me some of that.
Light me up a joint. All right, so you guys go to Paris. Okay, when you're preparing for that flight, like how stressed out are you to make sure you have all the trinkets to keep these kids entertained? Because you got to feel hyper aware of the fact that everybody sees you coming on the plane like,
everyone is like, dude, a baby.
Don't sip on me.
Yes.
Don't sip on me. Don't sip on me.
God. The whole freaking plane is like, you ruined my life right now.
And wait, is this a nonstop from LA to Paris?
Okay, so on the way there, we flew to Minnesota. So just a 4-hour flight.
To Minneapolis?
Yes, to Minneapolis, exactly, to stay at Kenny's parents' house. And then we did an 8-hour flight. So we had the parents, we had his sister and their kids. Like, we had like more family on the way there. And we were first class. What's up?
Who sprung for that?
Mama Bear hooked it up.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. And that's a game changer. So,
dude,
that's
game
also, you
changer.
got to be in the back of your mind going, if that's not your flight home, you're saving. I mean, you almost want the first class on the way back because you know everyone's going to be tired.
Well, okay, so we did that on the way there. So we had the first class, which made it better. We had the rest of the family, which made it better. We split it up into 2 flights, which made it better. On the way back, we were economy, and it was just us straight 11 and a half hours.
Whoa.
I was like, I'm gonna die.
Did you guys have, was it a flight, though, with the international flights? Was it one where it had 3 seats, 5 seats, or 3 seats, 4 seats, 3 seats? So did you get a whole 3-seat row, or you got 4 seats?
We only purchased 3 seats because Luke is like technically an infant, so he just sits on somebody's lap.
And you're just hoping there's an empty seat.
And it's not like he's going to sit in a chair and chill. Like, he's a crazy baby. Like, he's wants to walk all over, and he's just he's at the worst stage for a flight. Literally the worst. If he was
because
younger,
he won't sleep if you're a 5-month-old infant, you could just get him to sleep and they can't walk anywhere.
And they're just on your boob, and that's it.
Yeah, and he's got use of his legs and he knows it. And he's like, I don't have to stay here. I can go over there. I will just leave this. That looks like more fun.
He literally, stop trying to make me sit here. You are annoying. I got places to go. I'm big time, yo. I'm freaking 15 months. You don't even know about this.
15 months. Bet you wish you knew. You think I'm just close to 1. I ain't even close.
I'm bigger than that.
So the flight back. Let's not jump into the flight back yet because we have a whole other
crazy.
segment to talk about this. So when you were there, was it fun when you were there with kids, or everything you did, you thought to yourself more fun without kids?
I mean, everything is more fun without kids because caretaking is work.
Right.
So when you go to Paris by yourself or with a friend or with a boyfriend, you're just like, do we want to smoke cigarettes and drink cafe au lait and watch people walk by and wax poetic about life? Because that would be what you do in Paris.
That's what I did.
Or do we want to look sexy with our freaking cool clothes and be Parisian? You just do what you do. But when you have children, it's like, oh, do you want to try and find a place with a high chair so that our kid won't be jumping on the table? And you know what I mean? It's so much more work just to maintain status quo. You're not enjoying. You're not having fun. You're
surviving.
You're surviving. Oh my God, exactly. It's so depressing.
And also you're doing that, and every once in a while, there's no way you don't just sit back and take inventory in the fact I should be enjoying this.
Yes.
And I just feel like I'm just trying to hold on.
I'm just working. Yes,
I'm just
exactly.
you're holding on to the side of a plane wing, and you're just just don't let
don't
go.
Die.
You could do this. Were you guys in Paris, or in the burbs?
For the first 4 days, we were in Paris, and then we went to a chateau.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
Was the chateau you were able to cut loose a little bit?
It was kind of amazing, actually. Chateau was amazing.
Oh, so the city of Paris is so.
Yeah, it was too hectic and crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got kids that are running. You got one with legs, and both of them with legs.
My almost ran into the street. Kenny and I got in a fight in the street in front of his parents. It was awesome.
Whoa! Oh, man. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk about Shereen throwing down in the streets with her husband, Kenny, in front of the parents. The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. It's called Hitting the Post right there.
Yeah,
way to go.
That was a high.
Way to go, throwing some great details right at the end of that. All right,
friend.
let's
Hitting
try
the post.
Let's
I'm
try.
learning things already. Thank you, friend. That's what I need to learn.
Let's try this one. We're going to try this. Okay. Here we go. It's probably the one I should have hit to open the show.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
It does say open. It says open on the thing. It's always good to hit the show open on your 4th segment.
You're so good at this.
I'm a professional, Shereen Thor. It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Brad Nolan not in today. Patrick Moote will be in on the next episode. I know we teased earlier this week that we'd be calling his doctor to find out why his colonoscopy billed his insurance $67,000.
No.
It's a real thing they did.
Dude.
$67,000 is what his insurance. He didn't have paid. He has insurance, but he just wants to know how in the hell for a 3-hour procedure. I mean, you're looking at $23,500 an hour.
Dude, all you did was take out some poop. Get over yourselves.
Well, I mean, it was a little more sophisticated than that.
Okay.
Some polyps. All right, so we had a fight in Paris in front of the parents.
That was good, yeah.
You tell me your funniest married fight in front of parents in a foreign country, and then I'll tell you mine with my ex-wife in England, which is pretty hilarious
I'm
too.
so excited about this.
What was the fight about? Where?
Okay.
Please tell me the Eiffel Tower was in eyeball shot.
It wasn't an eyeball shot, but we were leaving the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
And
Which is stressful. That place.
Dude, it's intense.
Okay, the Eiffel Tower. I don't want to be. This is so. I don't know if this is relatable or not. Let me tell you about Eiffel Tower travel. It is just chaos. One, you're a little stressed out because everybody. You feel like there's some weird heightened terror element because of all the presence of police and stuff. Which I mean, I
That's
did
true.
during the holidays. But then again, I also was thinking, well, it's nice to have these guys around with their big guns. But everything's fenced off and stuff, and it's just because of the fencing around the base of the Eiffel Tower, all the street corners around it are chaos.
Yeah.
It's just packed, and everyone's trying to sell you the same
crap.
exact tiny statue, which is so dumb. I don't understand the thought process of trying to sell you the tiny Eiffel Tower. Like, look, see the big one? Take a little one home. You can show your friends. You saw this.
Have
like,
this one.
It's as if they don't know Google Images exists. Or I could just show them the selfie I took in front of the Eiffel Tower. So, all right, so you're leaving the Eiffel Tower, which is, and you're traveling with kids and parents. So your stress level's naturally high.
Yes, exactly. So we're on the way back, and we're freaking tired, dude. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Children in Paris, it's just crazy. It's a
And
lot.
in-laws for you. In-laws are extra tiring.
That's right. You're right. You know, I really looked out. Kenny's family is so awesome, and yet they're still in-laws. So there is a part of me that's like, you got to keep it together and not be the shitty one that married
Right.
in.
Yeah. Because you don't want, because there's always that little level of judgment. I feel that with
Yeah.
my girlfriend's parents now. When we go, like, visit them, I feel this, like, level of, so how's L.A. going? Kind of looking at me like, are you planning on trying to abduct her and take her there? Or are you coming, you know, this little.
So she's from Georgia.
Yeah, she's from, she's a Georgia peach.
They're probably very afraid, Brian.
I mean, they should be. Be on your
Don't
toes.
steal their baby.
Be on your toes.
I'm going to bring it here.
Yeah. All right. So then what? So what happened? What transpired in this?
Yeah. So basically what was happening was Maya was cray town, which is the usual. She's
3.5. She's probably maxed out.
3.5, but also she's the one who came out ranging. Like,
yeah, that's right.
You know, like certain, like literally it's crazy that babies come out with a personality. Maya came out and she made me her bitch. Like from the second she came, I'm not even kidding.
She was like, I didn't ask for this life. You did.
Like, yeah. She's like, I'm going to own your ass right now.
That's
just go
phenomenal.
with it. So that's been her always. I love her, my little fiery wild woman. And she just didn't want to get in her stroller. She's like, nah, bro, you ain't going to tie me up. I got places to go.
I know what you're doing here. I'm on to your games.
Yeah. She's like,
you act like this is for me. This is not for me. This is for you.
So she refused to get in the stroller. We decided not to force it on her. So we're just all walking in this big group of like 10 of us, right? She's walking. And then she starts running. So I'm at the front of the group, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She starts kind of running behind. We're on the street. Like, we're on the sidewalk, but the Paris street is, like, next to us.
Right.
And so she runs to
And that's chaos, too, the Paris
That's
street.
chaos. That's scary.
You don't even know which side they're supposed to be driving on. I don't think
Right.
they do either.
Oh, my
There could just
gosh.
be a scooter with, like, a big pizza box on the back of it and 3 dudes. It's just wild.
It's wild, exactly. So she runs sort of to the back of our group, and the last 2 layers of our group are Kenny pushing his nephew in a stroller, and then Grandma and Grandpa right behind him, and that's the end of our circle. So so just to like get into like the like you were talking about you being a rebel earlier. All right, so in our relationship, here's the dynamic. Kenny is safety first, like high sort of anxiousness, like everything needs to be safe. Like that's his. And I'm like, yeah, boo, let's fucking get crazy. Like I'm
Who's
just
gonna
like,
do it?
yeah, like I'm like risk taker, crazy. Like I did comedy, I've done like skydiving. Like I'm just that person that wants adventure, you know.
For the experience.
Yes, exactly. So I drive him nuts because at the moment in which he sees danger, I'm like, wait, what? Everything looks cool to me. And so and secondarily, like the second he sees danger, I'm like, oh, there he goes again.
What a
What a
square.
drag. Yeah, exactly. So this is us, right? So quickly he sees danger. He's like, oh my gosh. So he's pushing his stroller. She like runs towards him and he goes, Shereen, come get Maya. And I'm like 10 yards away. I'm like, bro, you could just grab her right
just
now.
grab
Like,
her.
what's the big deal?
I've got the stroller,
But
too.
yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I have the stroller. I don't know how, like, I didn't know this at the time, but apparently he didn't know how to like put the brake down because it was a new stroller. We bought it when we were there. So he's like, oh, come get her. So he's yelling at me in front of his family. And I go, he's like, she's going to be, like, basically like, she's getting too far away. She's going to get in the street. And I go, she's right next to her father. So now I'm yelling back at him.
And he used her father.
Yes. Kind of like.
As if like, hey, bro, you know your title, right?
Like, do your job, okay? So then he goes, he dropped an F-bomb.
No, right in front of the fam.
He said something like, just come and get her. But he yelled it like real sharp.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, my God. we're like, first of all, public humiliation. Like we're on the street.
Yeah.
Your family's all listening to this.
Public fights are so much worse because
The
everyone goes
worst.
like, oh, and then they look at you you're like, it's like you're in a Yo Mama battle from like that awful MTV show. We're like, oh no, he didn't. What has she got?
Oh my God, everyone. So then he basically somehow gets his. So then somehow Maya starts running towards me, and I'm like making her hold my hand, and I'm just walking. He apparently got somebody to like take the stroller from him, and he ran up and scoops her up. Right as he's scooping her up, I'm like, don't you freaking scoop her up and save the day after you disrespect me in front of your family.
Oh no, so you kind of came unglued.
I was so
you threw out
mad.
the word disrespect.
I said it.
Oh no.
And then he just kept walking, and I was like walking with him going, I really just don't want to be next to this guy right now, but I don't know who else to walk with because the rest of the people are his family.
You guys are having a mobile fight.
It's very uncomfortable. So then I just stood back. So it was like he was in front with Maya, I was in the middle, his family's back here. I'm like, I don't know where to go. We're in Paris. I'm stuck.
But you're still mad though.
But I'm still mad. This is the problem with marriage is like, there's nowhere to go.
No.
There's nowhere to go.
You want to storm off, but you know you have
just
to come
storm
back.
off to your freaking bedroom. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Just
nowhere to go.
Stomp off like a little kid, and you have to come right back
Exactly.
because you're legally contracted
Yes,
to.
you can't even like slam the door and leave. There's no like threats for breakups. It's like, no, dude, I'm just here.
Yeah. I'm here now. I don't know what to do.
I'm just still here. So anyway, that's what happened. I'll tell you about the makeup, but I figure I'll give you a beat to like. You know.
Mine was. So I was with my ex-wife. We were staying in London with her family for Christmas. And now I just met her family for the first time. Because when we got married in the States, I didn't actually know her family. I'd never seen them in person. So we went to her parents' house, or we were staying with her. Her sister lives on the street next to her parents, right? Because they're like very
close.
They're very European like that, where everyone wants to be in the same neighborhood. Her sister has 2 kids that are awesome, but they live in a duplex. And the one guy was out of town, so my ex-wife and I were staying in one half of the duplex.
Okay.
And so we go and pick up her dog. We're going to bring her dog back to the United States from the UK. Now, her sister had said, under no circumstances can you have a dog here. And my ex was like, oh, it's cool, we'll leave him with mom and dad. Okay. Right? Well, her mom and dad, like, we're all over there drinking some wine, and she's like, I'm going to bring the dog back to the house. And I'm like, we're not supposed to do that. Like, your sister's going to be super pissed at that. And her parents are like, if you do it, it's your fault. And her parents, like, kind of help us, like, sneak the dog in. Now, she posts a photo on Instagram.
Oh, no.
So the next morning, we wake up, 7 a.m., someone pounding on the door. The dog starts barking. Her mom and dad, her sister and her brother-in-law are all standing in the street, and they're all yelling at us to leave. And they boot us out of the house. And then she starts yelling at me because I'm siding with the family. I'm like, they told us this was going to happen. We'd get kicked out of the house.
Oh, dang.
Like they told us we'd be in trouble. So I'm siding with them. And she's like, you never side with me. And then she stomps off. And now I'm this total just a-hole dragging. I have 2 wheelie bags that are way too big for me. And I have 3 bags around my neck. And we're wandering through the streets of North London. And she just stomps out like, where are we going? She's like, I don't care. And just keeps going.
You're like, here we are.
And I'm like, this is my life.
Married.
All right. Oh, yeah. We're talking about how Paris ended. Oh, the French chateaus. The chateaux.
Chateau, baby.
All right, let's try it. We're going to start with this. Oh, this sounds cool.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
Oh, that's groovy.
It's like funky.
It's the Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Shereen Thor is in today. Shereen, where can people find you on social media?
At Shereen Thor.
At Shereen Thor. You're the only Shereen Thor.
That's right.
Not a lot of Thors.
Not a lot of Thors
in the
baby.
game. Is that like a do you guys run into a lot of Thors?
Well, we're the gods of thunder and lightning, so
no.
It's pretty rare.
Like Zeus and stuff, and that's it.
Yeah, we're big time.
All right. That makes it a lot easier for the branding thing.
That's right.
There's only a couple Brian Mootes, and they're weird, and they've all reached out to me in random ways. Yeah, one of them he's from Ontario, Canada, and he actually asked me at one point in time if I could take down my more edgy YouTube content.
Oh,
because
God.
he was trying to get a job, and he thought that when people Googled him, they were finding my stuff. And I was like, dude, you should be as lucky as my Laugh Factory video where I'm talking about your one call from prison, all right? You should be... it's funny because when I hear you talking about your trip, my trip to Paris was it was the best. It was so fun.
Tell me
it was so
everything.
fun. It was we just would drink anywhere we wanted to.
Must be nice.
We didn't care. We'd eat wherever we wanted to.
You know, I know we got to talk because we have microphones in front of us and people are listening.
But you don't
I hate you right now.
Done with
a lot of hatred happening.
It was literally the most fun I've had on a vacation in a long. And then we went to Germany and Amsterdam, and those places were fun too. But Paris,
awesome.
I mean, Paris, we did the entire city in one day in terms of just going. I don't like going on the inside of museums and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Which is cool because my girlfriend doesn't either. So that was perfect because, we could have waited in a big old line to get into the Louvre. But I was like, I really don't need to see any of that stuff. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't care about, I've seen the Mona Lisa. I'm going to go in and look at it again. I've seen in person, but I've seen it Google imaged.
Yeah, to be honest, like, I'm the same as you, except for that I was reading the Da Vinci Code when I went to the Louvre for the first time, and it brought the whole place to life.
But what does that mean?
I mean, you just are
What,
like...
you thought you were solving some of the
book
story?
is, like, so exciting, and it's about the Mona Lisa, and there's so much happening, so I felt very, like, normally I would have been like, whatever, cool painting, guys.
Not worth the line.
But because of the book, I was like, this is so exciting.
I mean...
Like,
that is so nerdy.
That's true. Gotta respect the nerd.
It's funny because like we would just go, we would go and we booked a water taxi, and I booked it. We just bought a ticket for a water taxi that would take you on the river. One, I didn't know there's a river in Paris. Had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about Paris.
Okay.
We showed up in Paris, and all I knew was that the Eiffel Tower was there and the Louvre was there, and that's it.
That's it.
I didn't know where we were staying. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know anything, which actually made it for a fun adventure because I just didn't know anything. I was blown away that there was a river, and it's a big-ass part of Paris. The river runs right through the whole city, and you can basically take a boat. I mean, that tiny-ass Statue of Liberty is there. So stupid. And I was like, when did they put this in? And like, yeah, that's like the one they had, and they sent us... Like, that's a whole thing. Like, we both, and I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. Oh, okay. Got a tiny-ass Statue of Liberty.
There
really
you go.
underwhelming, to be honest. I feel like they should just
America
take that
does
down.
it better.
Yeah, we go bigger. It's bigger in America.
Here's a small stupid.
So we got this, like, water taxi that basically is public transportation. And we just kept smuggling bottles of champagne on and standing on the back of it and just popping bottles off the back and just chugging champagne. Just to let you know, like, how much better my trip was than yours. Kidding. I didn't get to go to I didn't go to any chateaus.
Whatever, man.
How was the chateau? How was the actual wedding?
It hurts deep in my soul. Well, can I talk about the makeup story first?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
talk
want to
about the
leave
makeup
everybody
story.
on, like, a dramatic Paris in a street fight.
Yeah, what happened?
I mean, especially because it's like you have me on here, and then people are going to go to my Instagram and they'll be like, well, she's a life coach and she fights with her husband. She sucks at her job.
I didn't say it. No, you have perspective. You can't coach yourself, man.
That's right.
I have a psychology degree. You can't counsel yourself.
You know about that.
Yeah. I am a hot mess. I have plenty of advice for people that I don't take myself.
Yeah.
All right, so what's this makeup story?
All right, so we decided, this is kind of cool. We talked about it. Because I'm really big on, like, no disrespect, and I felt very disrespected.
Yeah, because he dropped the F-bomb in front of
the family.
everybody. And
yeah, like, if he would have done it in private, that would have bothered me, too. Like, if we were just at home and he said that, like, in front of our daughter, I'd been like, dude, like, no, you know? Like,
well, and the F-bomb is universal, so now you got Parisians are like, look at them. That's not even close to a French accent.
So good. Even though it was terrible, I liked it a lot.
It's awful.
So, yeah, I was like, dude. So I was like, man, are we gonna make it? Like, I always have that question mark because like, I come from a very broken home, and he comes from one that's still together. Like, you know, his parents are still. So I'm always like, I don't know, man. Like, disrespect is like a deal breaker to me. I don't know. So we had this big talk about it, and he thinks we're gonna be together forever. And I believe
And you're
him.
like, yeah, just don't drop the F-bomb in Paris again.
That's enough, bro. None of
happens.
that. So we agreed that we were going to have a chat at our breakfast with the kiddos and the parents. And we were going to let them know that, you know, we understand married couples fight and that everyone has moments of weakness.
Wait, you were going to have a talk with the parents to let them know that you guys were cool?
We had a public F-bomb. So I was like, we're going to have a public makeup. Like, we got to fix it. You know
Wait a minute, that was your idea?
I was like, oh, yeah.
Talk about a life coach. I mean,
like
that
that?
is some perspective right there. I would have just ignored it.
You're like, let's pretend that didn't happen.
I don't think anyone heard it.
Yeah, so we basically talked to them the next day, and I was like, well, can you basically tell them, like, kind of like, hey, my bad, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was inappropriate.
And exactly. And then he was like, well, I'm happy to do that, but can we do it where it's not just about me? So I was like, Okay, I think that's solid.
Yeah, but it was like 90% you.
It was totally you, babe.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I can see how you actually felt like there was something that
You were
was
stressed, you were panicking.
you were worried, and
yeah.
I was blowing you off, so that could have been
Okay.
perceived as disrespectful. So, like, I said that. Like, so,
Fair.
Yeah, so I was like, I can see how I was disregarding Kenny's concern, and that was probably upsetting to him, so I will, try better not to do that in the future. And then he said, and I can totally see how I shouldn't have said the F-bomb, and we just said, like, hey, we just want to set the record straight. That's not how we want to behave.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're going to be okay.
Cool, we're going to make it. That's communication.
We're going to make it, Brian.
That's best.
Hopefully that wasn't too boring for your listeners because, I don't know. Like, it's fun to be funny.
Oh, you meant makeup as in you guys made up in front of the parents.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like you cried your makeup off.
Oh, no.
I was waiting for
No,
waiting for the twist where you're like, and then it had a meltdown.
We
in
had
front
our
of the parents.
talk, and then we had, like, super delicious dirty makeup sex.
Whoa.
And then the
Wait,
next
who had
day,
the kids when you were doing that?
Oh, they were asleep.
Oh, wait, it was
Good
dirty
night,
though?
babies. Oh, it was, like, so good. It was, like, amazing makeup sex.
Whoa.
I feel like pervy talking to you about this.
Why?
I don't know. You're a guy. I don't talk to guys about my
God.
sex life. I only talk to my girlfriends about my sex life.
Oh, you totally dish on. You can totally. But,
Well,
but
I
it was
mean-
like, now I'm just fascinated because, so I always get concerned that you're never going to be able to do that again once you have kids. But you just,
Oh, no,
those little
dude.
suckers were knocked
Are
out.
you kidding me? Me and Kenny, we
Go for
we
it.
really like each other. Like, if I
Oh, okay,
wasn't
good.
on birth control, we would be pregnant like every 2 seconds.
All
Like,
right,
we are
yeah.
very.
Judging by your stress levels right now, I don't think you need to have another child. Nah, I don't want to like, Shereen, I've known you for a long time, and I'm sure most people listening right now, based on this conversation for the last 35 minutes, could probably go like, I think Shereen probably needs a break from the
I
kids.
think we're good. Dude, it's so true.
See, I thought that stuff kind of ended, but
was, like,
it's nice to hear that sometimes
Oh, no.
married folk with kids just
Yeah.
throw down.
Well,
Get
he's a
weird.
Scorpio. Scorpios make sure you keep throwing down.
I don't even know what that means.
I mean, you're not into the astrology thing, but I'm into the Scorpios.
You mean
are
not into
sexy
like
town.
crazy magic?
Okay, cool guy. Okay, so I like ride the line, right? Like I used to do stand-up comedy and now I do life
Right.
coaching. So I ride the woo-woo line. Like half of me is like, get the F out of here. That's BS.
You ride the woo-woo line.
And then half of me is like, yeah, man, the stars.
Totally.
The stars,
It was
babe.
written in the stars.
So I'm like half man bun and half GI. Like if I was a dude,
Right.
that would be my haircut.
Well, so you're like, what side do you decide that's like kids are asleep, choke me? What side is that?
Oh, that's a good question. Damn, both sides. Come on.
Okay, this is probably too dirty of an admission. No, it's not. But the
Do
segment's
it.
almost over, and we're going to close this thing out with some funny stuff about Pat. But I can always tell my girlfriend, when she starts to talk dirty, I know she just wants it to end. And I'm like, at first I thought, I was like, oh, someone's into it. And now I realize that when she's playing me for a fool.
She's trying to reverse psychology you.
And you know what I do to reverse psychology? I reverse the reversal. So then I
Keep it going.
even extra long.
What a bastard.
I'll take breaks, and she'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just sitting,
You're such a jerk.
just not moving, just not.
Oh my God.
just not moving. I want it to be good for you." And then she'll ramp up the dirtiness, and I'm like, she'll say things that are so filthy sometimes. Where I'm like, "You want this over now?"
You're like, and I like it.
I do. Well, now I like it even more because I can torture her. Okay, we are gonna.
Okay, Brian, crazy town. Full on crazy.
What? I know. Today's been a fun show.
I like it even more so I can torture her. All right. It's a good thing.
All right, I need to find Patrick's prank call. We are going to break down, I don't even know, maybe Brad will edit this so that we don't talk. Oh, this is going to be good, Pat. Okay.
Yeah. This is gonna be
Last
good.
segment, we're going to talk about Pat because I got a funny text from Pat. And this is so funny. He's such a moron. It's the greatest. Let's try this one.
Here we have Brian Moote.
Nothing screams athletic
I don't like
midlife
that one.
crisis like
Here
becoming
we have
a
Brad
Shut
Nolan.
up.
I pick jerseys based on the tough-sounding name
Wait, who's
of
still
the
playing?
mascot.
And Brian Moote. Here we have
Nachos are
Brian Moote.
What's going on?
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show.
You're listening to The Brian Moote Show.
You're
with
listening
Brad
to The
Nolan.
Brian Moote Show.
Feels very
with
schizophrenic.
Brad Nolan.
I got a lot going on right now. Whoa, what's happening?
Brad Nolan is a stand-up dad.
It's going well.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
This last part. Thank God this is the last segment of the show.
Brian's fully unraveling.
I am coming unglued. I've been in control of the buttons for too long. That's why I don't do the button stuff. I've got knobs going. I've got 19 things loaded on the button box here. What's going on, everybody? The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan. Thank you for listening. The next episode, we will be calling. We will be talking a lot about Pat's cancers, colon cancer treatments, and he's going to be down about a foot of colon here in July at some point in time. But this is the text message that I got this morning. Super relatable. I got it at 5:32 a.m. and this is from Patrick. And then after this, we're gonna break down one of the best prank calls in history, and by best I mean worst, because Pat was gonna call 24 Hour Fitness and give him a piece of his mind and cancel his membership, and none of that happened. Spoiler alert! But it's so funny to watch him flip. All right, this is the text I get this morning at 5:32, guys. This is my life from Patrick. Don't you hate when you get super high and there's an Uber passenger in your car and forget that you were driving them?
Oh, wow.
And I go, wow, wait, what? That happened? And he goes, yep. Totally forgot there was someone in my car and drove like 5 minutes past their destination. Oh, shit. And I go, what did they do? Well, they looked super nervous. They didn't say anything. But I finally figured out they were still in the back while I was driving.
They thought he was a serial killer.
He goes, I think they thought they were being kidnapped.
Yeah.
And I go, well, say goodbye to your 4.96 Uber rating. And he goes, wrong, bro. Ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome? They'll give me all stars. All of them. And I go, are you still high? And he goes, I am so much higher now. And I just looked to make sure no one's in my car. Oh, got a ride. Got to go. That's Pat. That's Pat's life this morning.
He's pretty entertaining, that guy.
He's a special one.
He's so special.
All right, so we have. I'm just gonna hit that stop
really
on that
is
button. I just
so
got so
special.
many things going on right now. So many buttons to play. All right, so here is this prank call. This is my favorite thing that we've ever done, that I've ever done in broadcasting, and it was Patrick Pat convinced me he's like prank call master, right? Because he's like, I talk to telemarketers all the time. Like I'm the best at them. So I say to him, like, well, let's do some. So we start trying to do all sorts of stupid stuff yesterday. And he's like, you know what I can do? I can call 24 Hour Fitness and tell them that their parking situation sucks. And then I'm quitting 24 Hour Fitness and I'm ready to do this. I'm like, okay, man. So I fire it up and this is what happened. And feel free to comment over the top of this.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be good.
This is going to be fun.
24 Hour Fitness. With state-of-the-art equipment, certified
State-of-the-art,
personal
hear that?
trainers,
It's not state-of-the-art, it's all
and more than
broken.
400 clubs
He's
open
mad.
up to 24
Can hear it.
hours.
We'll get into
We're
that.
committed to helping you meet
We're
your
not going to
goals
do that.
on
24 Hour
your
Fitness
time.
open 24
No, you're
If
hours.
you know your party's extension, you may
doesn't
dial
let
it
healthy
now.
people
For
in.
new membership information, press 1. For club address and directions, press 2.
Don't need that.
For the
Why would
club
I need the
operating
address?
Hours, press 3.
He's
For
getting so
group
fired up.
exercise
He's a
information,
guest.
press
Oh,
5.
four.
Oh,
To make
dude.
a payment or update your billing
Oh, yeah,
information
yeah.
using our automated service,
No.
please press 6.
How about
To repeat
customer
these options,
service?
Press star.
man, we
if
just
you'd
have-
like to speak to one of our club
Trying to
There
team
we
members,
go.
please
Keep it
press
cool.
7 now.
Yeah, just make that the
All right, I got it.
last
7.
option
All right,
ever.
easy.
Sorry, I'm already fired up.
Yeah, no, dude, you settle down. Here we go. Magic.
24 Hour Fitness, how may I help you?
Hey, I'm a client there, I guess. Is that what you call a client or patient?
Sure, member. Yeah.
Member, yeah, sure, member. Okay, I'm a member there. I haven't paid my bill in a while, and so I needed to.
Hold on, did you hear that laugh?
That laugh killed
Let
me.
me go back to that real quick. This is when you knew Pat was done for, right? Because my brother's a sucker, and this girl
Yeah.
sounds cute. Ready?
A client there, I guess. Is that what you call a client or patient?
Sure, member. Yeah.
Member, yeah, sure, member. Okay, I'm a member there.
Done
I haven't
for,
paid my
Pat.
bill in a while,
Done
so I need
for.
to talk to somebody about that.
Okay, we can't take any information over the phone, but the next time you come in, we'll be able to help you out.
Oh, well, the thing is that I'm not gonna pay it anymore.
Oh,
Okay, so you want to cancel your membership?
okay.
I mean, I
So
guess
sassy.
so. Is that
Yeah,
gonna
so
go to
that has-
collections?
I'm sorry, what?
Will that go to collections? Because I'm not gonna pay it even after that. I
you
just
just
don't.
have
I'm
to-
sorry. And this isn't your problem, obviously. But they raised the parking, the money that you have to pay for parking recently, which was like 40% or something like that.
Okay, well, that is Pat's whole argument. He's quitting. I want you to pay attention to this because he's all in right now. Thundered in here with I am quitting my membership. They raised the parking prices. Now watch it all come unraveled.
Here at this location?
Yeah. It used to be $3. Now it's like $5.
No, it's still $3.
Oh, well, I haven't drove in there in a while. A friend told me that.
Yeah, it's still $3 with that validation.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear that?
That's
Did
terrible.
you hear the breath out? Just wait. Just listen to the disappointment again. No, it's not. It's still $3. And he's.
Yeah, it's still $3 without validation.
Oh, okay. Okay. I still have issues though with the place.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We just don't do any cancellations over the phone, so we need you to come in person to cancel.
You have to do it in person? I don't want to do it in person. It's a lot of pressure
For a laugh,
to like
though.
walk in and look
She is
someone in the
cute.
eyes. It's like breaking up.
It is like
with
breaking
somebody.
up.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are all the trainers super muscular, and do they always train not in their jerseys?
What is
like
happening?
sometimes I see some of the trainers like training in
dying.
not
Yeah.
their 24-hour fitness jersey.
That Pat right now is Jack in Titanic hanging onto the door. As soon as Rose said we didn't change parking, you just started watching him fall off the door.
Right.
He is just, and I'm looking at him and I'm giving him the sign like quit. We got like you bail. Like this is awful.
Right.
And now he's trying to find something funny and he doesn't.
They might be like with their friends or might be working with other trainers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I, if they're not in their jersey, can I go up and get like a free training thing? Like,
You
could I
can
just
ask
be
them
like,
for sure?
really?
He's just
Yeah, you
treading
can ask
water.
them and talk to them and see like about their business. I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is on that though.
Can you tell me, is the guy with the dreadlocks, is he really aggressive when he works you out, or is he kind of like chill about it? Because if he's really aggressive and not
He's
into
just
it.
trying to talk to her now.
I've never trained with him. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm trying to cancel my membership anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Got
There
you.
used to be this homeless guy who would soak his feet in the hot tub.
What
Is
is
that still a thing?
He's gone fully rogue.
Not that I've heard of.
Okay.
No.
Woo! Thank God. Okay. All right. Well, I'll be back in to cancel tomorrow.
Okay. See you then.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
He's like, hey, want to go out? Want to jump in my Uber?
It was so bad.
Take that, 24-hour fitness.
That was the worst.
They did raise the price
They
in the
did not.
garages, too. Yes, they did. All right, well, Haroon told, no, we did not. Oh, dang it. Well, that was my whole thing.
Wow, just what?
That was my whole thing.
Literally,
That was my
I
out.
could have done this the whole. I mean, it's just so bad.
It's pretty terrible.
Like you just hear him so deflated. It just felt like he went in, marched into war, and then realized like he didn't have any weapons. He just so sad.
oh, shoot.
What time to you? I mean, I've never seen you went in so confident. Oh, Jordan, I'll yell at him all day. Dude, get me all fired up. Press
She was
7.
so stinking nice.
Wow, that
she
was
was
so
nice.
I know, that's
epic.
impossible.
That was so.
They should date.
I know. I'm all
So
sweaty.
funny
I'm
and
like my face is sweaty because I feel like a
He's
dick.
so funny.
I know.
This guy comes.
I'm the worst.
You're
It's
not
not their
going to bring a
fault.
hot fire.
Well,
into
I'm not gonna pay any more for parking. It's the same price. Okay. Well, what about the homeless guy? In the
Yeah,
hot tub?
well, I
Never
was
heard
like,
of him.
what
Damn
is-
it.
All right, boy.
All right. The guy with the dreadlocks, is he cheap?
Well, that was real deflating, but funny. It was so bad, it was actually
we
funny.
tried.
The Brian Moote Show with Brad Nolan.
No better way to end than with a pat failure.
Killed it.
Hi, welcome to this ad for new Subway sliders starting at $1.89 each. How do you want it?
Cheer squad.
Woo! Go Subway sliders, starting at $1.89 each. Give me a $1.89 ham and jack slider.
$1.89 ham and jack slider.
Give me a $1.89 Italian spice slider.
$1.89 Italian spice slider.
What's that spell?
Doesn't really spell anything.
New Subway sliders, starting at $1.89 each. Go sliders!
Customization for flavored cheese and sauce at participating shops plus tax. Price higher on delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii.